Hello, how are you? Let me introduce Cossall Parish Council, the civil local authority for Cossall in Nottinghamshire. This website was completed early 2020 and was a redesign of the previous website, which looked like this. Quite a difference, mainly because this website, the new one, is WordPress. And there are many more features and greater opportunities to present the information in a way that is informative and appealing. Let me scroll down. You'll see that we've got a slider, so this feeds visitors into different sections of the site, and it's laid out in a much more pleasing manner. Whereas the old site wasn't even a mobile responsive site. This one, if I just go inspect, just to get it to just focus on the bit on the left, ignore all this business on the right hand side. But you can see you have to imagine that this is a mobile phone screen with its narrower width. So you'd have, like a regular computer, then perhaps a laptop, then an iPad in landscape mode, then an iPad in portrait mode, then a smartphone in landscape mode, and finally a smartphone in portrait mode. So that's what we need to do. We need to pander to all these different devices, because that's the way people look at the web. Whereas this site, I don't believe it had any mobile responsive design. No, not really. So that was the first thing to do, and obviously we also had to get more information on this site, because there's very little on this website, I have to say, very little, and it's much harder to update as well. If you wanted to add like a counsellor or a news item, you would basically be having to edit code. You'd be having to roll up your sleeves and delve into parts of the website which you shouldn't have to. So we wanted to make this as simple as possible for those administering to the site, and because it's WordPress, you can log in with a username and password, and you have a dashboard with posts and pages. If you want to add a news item, it's add new item, or if you want to edit a page. It's much easier than sort of wading around in computer code thinking, am I going to bugger this up if I make a mistake? Let's take a quick look through the site. So there's some initiatives, neighbourhood plan, nuisance traffic, and so on. You can click read more, but you can also get to those same pages by hovering over initiatives. The site normally looks like this, but if I just press refresh, we'll see that because we're in the middle of a global pandemic, that they've been able to log in and add this message themselves. Very easily done. Initiatives help at this difficult time, so they've added that. So they've been able to add another page with relative ease, and it was important that they be able to do that, because at this difficult time they need to reach people very quickly and get information to them. But let's go through the page. So we've got an about section which we've split into history and conservation. So some information here, a sidebar with a link to another page, the history of Cossall. You can get to that same page by clicking history of Cossall Village here. We've got photos and descriptions and so on. So this is all very good, very informative, very engaging for the residents. Perhaps anyone looking to move to Cossall would actually look at this website and find it helpful. I hope so. And then we have the news section, so an administrator can log in. We've connected a Google Calendar as well. Actually, at the time of making this video, we're in April 2020, the meetings are actually off. So I will let one of the administrators know that they ought to log into their Google Calendar and perhaps temporarily remove these. But normally you can scroll through the calendar and you'll see that there's the meeting scheduled in for however often it is. But they've got news items here which can be added. I see they have been adding news items. News items can be connected to a mailing list if you have one, an email newsletter. It's a much better site. It's easier to add the PDF documents with all the financial reports. It's easier to add items to the gallery. It's a kind of website that you would want to update and would want to administer, because you know that it's not going to be any trouble to do so. We've got this email contact form. You just enter your details and click send. We've got the Google. If I just draw your attention to the bottom right of my screen, this is something called Google Recapture version 3. This is to help filter out malicious traffic. People send in nonsense, people send in rubbish. A lot of the emails that you receive in an email inbox are often automatically generated, which means that somebody has set up software to go out onto the internet and find contact forms just like this and automatically send junk to you. So it's not even a real person sending a lot of the junk, but the Google Recapture version 3 is designed to help filter out some of that automated crap. Hall for hire. This is a meeting space which is normally available for hire for functions and classes and whatever events you want to put on. Notice on the right hand side we've got these customized areas, rates of hire, questions, conditions of booking, Google reviews. As more Google reviews come in, we can copy and paste the text into there. Also, we've set up something called events held at old schoolroom. So if, for example, somebody were to add a news item, and that was Bess of Hardwick. This a lady came in to give a talk about a historical figure. They've had an update. This presentation had been postponed. It's tagged with talks and Cossall and the old schoolroom. So when you create a post, like a news item, you can add categories: Cossall talks, the old schoolroom. Now that's important. It's been given the category the old schoolroom because any events tagged accordingly will appear here. So they had another one, a 3 CPR event, how to use a defibrillator. I can't say that word. I have orthodontic braces at the moment. So any future events that are tagged with the old schoolroom, they will actually appear here on this little sidebar. So anyone looking at Hall for Hire, the old schoolroom, what might tempt them to hire it, or what might just simply be of interest, is the fact that these events are being held here. So it gives them an idea of the kinds of events that go on. I hope you found this presentation useful. I gave an overview of the differences between the old website and the new website and the advantages that a WordPress website can afford, whether it's for a small business or a small organization. Thanks for watching. Bye.